We just got back from our London vacation, and you already knew that if you follow us on Instagram, and if you're not following us, you should definitely do that because you get more real-time what's going on the stories.
So in this video, we are going to be sharing our highlights from our trip along with some audio commentary from us. And later on this week, we're gonna be sharing our tips that we learned and lessons learned from this trip. And we're also gonna be sharing exactly how much we spent on the trip.
And the adventure officially begins. We're walking over to the train right now. And then we're gonna take a train to New York and then a plane to London. And then in the middle of the week, we are going to take another plane over to Paris for the day, and then back to London, then back to New York, and then back to the DC area. And that is how One Big Happy Life is gonna spring break.
The trip was 8 days long, including travel. It started on Saturday, and then we got back on Saturday. Now, we weren't flying out of the closest airport. We flew out of New York, and so we took an Amtrak train up there, and then spent a little bit of time touring New York.
Here we are in Times Square.
Pretty close anyway. We got a bite to eat. It was
Some
tasty.
amazing pizza. This Joe's Pizza right here. So good. Like really good, authentic New York City pizza. Delicious.
It's tough to get good pizza.
And so now we're going to one of my favorite places, Junior's Cheesecake. So excited.
So after we, of course, hit up Junior's Cheesecake, which is my fave, then we took the train across. We took the Long Island Railroad across to JFK, where we flew out using Norwegian Airlines. And it was a 6-hour direct flight to London, and it was just okay. It was just okay.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Socks from this bag here.
Small. They're right at the top, like this big. All you have to
You ready?
Preparing my British accent.
So because day one was essentially all travel, we landed at 7 in the morning London time, which would have been the middle of the night for us back here on the East Coast. So then you have the whole day ahead of you after, well, we didn't really sleep that much on the plane. And so it was like staying up all night and then go again.
We made it all in one piece. Now we're getting ready to go to customs, but we're officially in London.
We're tired.
Yeah. And that was,
Good. The sun being out helps.
that's interesting that you're feeling pretty good given that you
I
didn't
slept
sleep at
none
all.
at all. I was so uncomfortable.
Me too. I think I might have slept like an hour.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah, that was...
Oh no, she was out more than that.
How many times have we played game night?
And we got to the airport. My aunt, we were staying with my aunt for the trip, and she had ordered a car for us. And so the car driver was there waiting for us. And that's when we discovered that one of our bags was missing.
Worst experience ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had to file the lost black bag thing and hope that they were going to find our bag and send it to us. Luckily, it was just our toiletry bag. So we had all of our clothing and stuff like that. We just had to buy toothbrushes and that kind of stuff. But then we headed to my aunt's house. Again, it's Sunday. And we were so tired. We were supposed to do stuff on Sunday, and then we didn't.
Yeah, like we had still planned it for it to be a fairly easy day, like nothing that had to be done, but we were still supposed to leave the house.
Yeah, but we didn't. We just hung out with my aunt. She made us food. She made us tea. What else did we just ate and hung out, which was really awesome because I actually hadn't seen my aunt. We hung out for a little bit at the family reunion that was like 4 years ago. But before that, I hadn't ever spent any real significant time with my aunt, who's my dad's sister, because I don't have much family here in the United States. And so for me, getting to spend time with my aunt and then my cousins and, you know, great cousins, what are those called? The children of your cousins. Cousins once removed, whatever. Spending that time with them was, for me, the highlight of the entire trip. That and Stonehenge.
Okay, so the plan for day 3 was to start out visiting some parks and then I think go to Buckingham Palace and stay in that whole area and see a few things.
And then go to the mall to see this store that I get a catalog for here in the US, but they don't physically have stores. So I wanted to go there, try on some of the stuff to see the fit so that maybe in the future I'll buy from them, which is Bowdoin, UK or something.
And because we planned it out so well, we did none of that. except we did make it to the store.
And I bought this.
But we got a really, really late start. Everyone's sleep schedule was still, of course, just way off. And so nobody was ready early. And so we didn't go to the parks. We didn't go see the changing of the guard. But we did make it to that mall. And like, it's a great mall. It's like one of the biggest. And so she went shopping. We hung around, got some food, and then did make it into the city to see the London Eye.
Okay, so we just got to the London Eye. It's gigantic. I'm a little nervous because I'm afraid of heights. But here it is, right there. Gigantic. But so we're gonna go ride that, and Joseph's talking about maybe doing some kind of boat ride or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna meet Tasha's cousin, and that's what they want to do, the boat ride. They just did the London Eye, and so hopefully we can catch up and do a boat ride too.
So we're almost at the top. Doing it this way is really creepy. And this is where we discovered just how long it was going to take us to go back and forth to the city every day from my aunt's house, which was basically like an hour and a half each way. So 3 hours total of commute time every single day.
Yeah, so that day she drove us part of the way, and then we caught a train to go the rest of the way, actually the tube. And then that's when we were starting to figure out exactly how we were going to best do this from then on.
So then after the London Eye, we went to the Red Lion pub, which Alexis planned out most of this trip. So she picked that spot too. And we had some delicious meat pastries. Like, what are they called? Meat
pies.
Meat pies. Oh, they were so good. And I think we tried like 5 different kinds. Super tasty. Pub food. So good. Day 4 was another London day, and we were off again to a pretty late start. My aunt made us breakfast. Every single day we had an amazing breakfast made by my aunt, usually ham and sausage and beans and scrambled eggs and French press coffee, and also tea if we preferred, and also orange juice and whatever we wanted. Like, she was just amazing. That was like the best. So we had these like leisurely breakfasts, and it would take us like 2 or 3 hours to get out of the house.
It's hard to leave when somebody is just like the perfect host and that you love spending time with, and why would you leave that? You just hang out.
Plus, I was so tired the whole trip. Jet lag hit me hard, really hard for some reason this trip. But we finally made it out of the house. We did the hour-and-a-half train ride in, and we went to the Tower of London.
Alrighty, here we are, day 2 in London. We just took the train in. We take the Chiltern train to Marylebone, and then we hop on the tube. So where are we going?
Tower of London.
So we're heading to Tower of London today, and it's basically the afternoon. So I think we're probably gonna go to Tower of London, eat, and then head back because we're going on a full day tour to Stonehenge and Windsor Castle and Bath tomorrow. So we have to get up super early tomorrow morning. So we want to get to bed early.
Hopefully we can get to something else.
Yeah.
Just the Tower of London, running out of time to see anything.
We're supposed to cross the bridge and go see a ship.
Alexis says we're supposed to cross a bridge and go see a ship in City Hall. So we'll see exactly how much of that we get done. I want to start heading back home by like 5 because it takes us an hour basically to get back to my aunt's house. So we'll see how much we can fit in. It's really pretty over here. I was expecting it to be a little taller though. But Joseph points out that it was much harder to build tall buildings back then. So that's true. But it's really cool, the juxtaposition of this 1,000-year-old castle with all these modern buildings right over there on the other side of the river.
Which was super exciting. I've been to London before, but I did not see that. And I was super excited to see it and got to see the crown jewels.
Yeah, which had they don't even look real. The diamonds and other gems that are in those crowns, they just look fake because they're so gigantic. It's like, it boggles my mind seeing those things. But you couldn't take any pictures. So unfortunately, we can only tell you that we saw them, but not show them to you.
It's pretty chilly out, so we're done with, what is this? The Tower of London.
And you've got Tower Bridge in the background.
Yes, Tower Bridge is right there. So, but we're gonna go have lunch first, and then we're hoping that Reeves will fall asleep And then we're gonna walk across the Tower Bridge and go to the Belfast and the Shard. So the Belfast and the Shard are right there.
After the Tower of London, we walked around a little bit, started to go over to the Tower Bridge, and then decided that we were too hungry to make it all the way across. And so we went back, found a restaurant. We ate at Wagamama, which is an excellent Japanese restaurant, super tasty. And then we trekked all the way back.
And we went back early because we knew the next day we were going to have a really early start. Day 5 was our all-day bus tour to Windsor Castle, Stonehenge, and Bath. So we were going to be gone for 12 hours and we needed to be at the bus station by 7:30, which means that we were up at 4:30 and catching the train by like 5:45. So it was like being back at home and commuting to work.
It's our 3rd day here. We're waiting in line outside Windsor Castle. I've been here once, for Tasha's first time, Alexis, and of course Reeves down there. Their first time. Super excited. Are you excited?
What?
Okay, so nobody knows exactly what we're gonna see, but I think it's gonna be good. Okay, made it into Windsor Castle. It was pretty fast. Here we are. Reeves, of course, is super energetic now, so he's gonna run all over the castle and wear himself out. That's the plan. Windsor Castle was the first stop on the tour. We got there early, ahead of all the crowds, and the only downside was that Queen Victoria's dollhouse, that exhibit was closed, and I had been talking about that for months. Because there's a teeny tiny vacuum that actually works in it. Okay, we just got out of Windsor Castle. It was super fun. Everything's super old and very, very decorated and expensive. So, I mean,
Now we're heading to Bath.
It's exactly what you would expect from a castle. So, it's lots of fun. And now, I don't know how long, probably another hour in the bus on the way to Bath.
Next up was Stonehenge, which I was really excited about. There were 2 things that I really wanted to see on our trip, one being Bowdoin, and the second being Stonehenge.
So we are all super excited to see Stonehenge. Reeves is especially excited. He picked up some rocks that are very important to him, so he's in the mood. We got to ride a little bit of a shuttle back to where they are. We passed them on the road, but you're not actually allowed to stop. There's not like parking right there, and so we have to go to the visitor center and then over there and be back before our bus leaves, or we become part of Stonehenge.
All right, here it is. It's Stonehenge. I know it looks kind of small in the background there. I'm gonna zoom in on it so you can see it a little bit better. But isn't that so cool? I wish we could get closer though. Yeah.
So we got there and it was really cool. The only thing that made me sad is that we couldn't actually go inside the center of the stones. Apparently you have to schedule that tour well in advance, and it's actually only during the non-public hours, so like dusk and dawn. So that was sad, but it was still really magical being there. I liked it.
And Bath was surprisingly awesome. We didn't really know anything about it, but the Roman baths were cool and the city was just amazing. Great architecture.
So now we're in Bath, and Bath looks amazing, and we're heading to the Roman baths. Bath looks so cool. Ignore all the buses. Actually, I'll flip it around so you can see this way. This way looks cool.
Bam. Doesn't that look very European?
Now this is fun.
Yeah, if you like architecture, you should come to Bath.
What do you think of Bath, Alexis?
Oh, I think it's really pretty. Like, I like all the buildings and the little alleys and stuff.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yes, who picked it?
Okay, we are inside the Roman baths and it is so cool to see, and also that water looks disgusting, so I don't know how they ever actually used it for anything, but I assume it wasn't always green.
Yeah.
But maybe green has healing properties and they thought that was a great idea.
And I got a bottle of gin from Bath. I feel like that's what I've discovered, my souvenir thing that I like to get from places. If I can get some locally distilled gin, because it really does taste like the place. So I got a bottle of gin.
But it didn't actually taste like the bath.
Which you don't know. We don't know because they warned us over and over that the water in the Roman baths was toxic and to not drink directly from the bath.
Did you taste the water?
No, I did not. Thank you.
We arrived back super late, and that's when we made the decision that the next day we were supposed to go to Paris, but we were just dog tired. We couldn't do it, and we decided that we were going to abandon our day trip to Paris. Okay, this is the beginning of day 5, and of course that means that we're in Paris, except by Paris I mean the UK, because we didn't make it to our flight this morning to go to Paris, and so we have another day here in London. We were just too tired to get on the flight after a long day at Stonehenge, at Windsor Castle, and Bath. So we just called it quits on the flight and decided we'd try to see some more stuff in London because we missed so many things. And there are so many other things that we want to see.
Very true.
So now we're catching lunch before we're going to a museum. And we're going to try some Lebanese food. So that's a first.
This cute little Lebanese cafe, kind of like out in the courtyard with all the pigeons. It seems romantic until you're trying to eat with a whole bunch of pigeons around you and they're flapping and you're just waiting for bird poop to just fall on your food. So it's like, it looks cool in pictures, but it feels really like tense in real life, I feel like.
We are leaving the Science Museum. We weren't here that long. Reeves had an accident, and of course we have 2 changes of clothes because we're not crazy, we're toddler parents. So I think we're heading to the Sherlock Holmes Museum next, and Alexis wants to go to the Harry Potter platform train station. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? Platform 9 3/4. So we're gonna try to squeeze all of that in, but everything closes so early here in London. So it's 5 o'clock. We basically only have till 6 o'clock to try to squeeze all of that in today. Thank you. All right, and now we're back outside. London, okay, where to? Which way? What's the best way? It's really cool looking.
We tried to make it to the Sherlock Holmes Museum, and we arrived just a few minutes after the last tour enters. So we decided to come back for that, and then we went to platform 9 3/4 to try to go to Hogwarts.
We're going to platform 9 3/4. I'm really excited. I think it's just a shop, and then there's the train station over next to it. So I'm about to get my nerd on, my witchly nerd on.
Oh my God. All right. Get in the line, figure out where the line is. Figure out which, is this the end of the line? All right. Is it everything you thought it would be, Alexis? Sort of.
I've been waiting in line for Alexis to get her picture taken with the 9 3/4 platform sign.
Hello, I'm here.
I've been here like 20 minutes, maybe an hour, 2 hours, forever.
2 hours.
This really hasn't been that bad.
You're funny.
But she finally showed up. Just for the picture with the sign. Just the sign. Sometimes tired babies are the best.
Can I see your owl? What's your owl's name?
Owl.
Owl.
Yeah.
And after that was another long train ride home. We went to sleep, and then the next morning was the start of our last day in London. At which point I was so exhausted that I just could not even. So I sent Joseph alone with the kids to London, and I stayed in bed all day.
Okay, it is our last day here, and we are down a team member. Tasha decided that she was too tired and wanted to just hang back at our aunt's house instead of coming into the city. So it's just me and the kids today. There's Reese. So we're gonna try to go see some museums, take some photos, grab quick bites to eat, and try to avoid sitting down so it doesn't take so long, and see what we can pack in on our last day. And the most exciting thing is we survived. Alexis and I just finished the tour of the Sherlock Holmes Museum. It was really cool. They put together a bunch of antiques to kind of recreate what it would look like in there. They had a bunch of wax figures for like different stories and little keepsakes and things from all the different stories. So it's super exciting. And of course, Alexis needs a pen, and Reeves saw a gigantic lollipop in there, so we're gonna leave with a pen and a lollipop. We went to another museum, one right next to the Science Museum, the Museum of Natural History, and it was fantastic. We made it to Natural History Museum through a couple of different trains. Finally made it. Things are going really well, considering it's just me and Alexis and the baby. So we grabbed a bite. We're gonna quickly eat, head in, hopefully be there an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then hopefully head over to the Shard after that. Just check out this museum. Isn't it just so awesome looking? It's gotta be the prettiest museum ever. Reeves had a blast. He just ran around. He saw a bunch of dinosaurs, including a life-size T-Rex that moves around like animatronics. So cool. What do you think, Reeves?
It's so scary.
Okay, we'll go. We'll go, buddy.
Look at it.
Yes, that is gigantic. That is huge.
We also made it over to the Shard, which is the tallest building. It has great panoramic views of the city. And then went to Tasha's family's shop, where it's a Jamaican restaurant. And I got to try oxtail, and it was so good. Just super excited.
And in case you were wondering, I was still sleeping basically this whole time. I was supposed to meet up with them at the shop, but I woke up so late that there was no way for me to make it to the shop and then head over to the restaurant to meet up with the rest of the family for dinner. So I woke up, got dressed, and raced to make it to dinner at 7:30 p.m. Like, that is how much I slept. It was crazy. And I still wanted to sleep more. So that last night, which was Friday night, we had dinner with my family, which was awesome. My cousins are so fun and friendly, and I think Alexis really loved being around cousins her own age too, because again, there are very few of us here in the US, so she rarely gets to get that sort of big family, you know, welcoming you with open arms, we're all the same kind of vibe, and so she loves it. I think we're gonna have to send her to just spend time with her London cousins.
Yeah, she was talking about that at the end of the trip. She just wants to go back and just hang out, which is fine with us.
So I think we didn't even go to bed till midnight, but we had to wake up at 5 a.m. because the cab to take us to the airport came at 5:30, and then our flight was at 9:40. It was an 8-hour flight. Then we, of course, schlepped across New York back to Penn Station, and then took a 3-hour train back down to the DC area, 30-minute drive home, and we finally made it, and we crashed and went to sleep and did absolutely nothing the next day.
Yeah, and fortunately all of our bags made it. The timing of the train and everything, Tasha did a fantastic job booking that, and so it all worked out, made it home, it was great.
So those are the highlights from our London trip. It was supposed to be London, Paris, but just London. And so stay tuned for Wednesday's video where we talk more about some of the lessons that we learned from this trip, our second big international trip with the kids. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.